coming up.
Jesse, see, I have to commend you though. I will commend you on this because you're trying to craft a very narrow framework for us to have this conversation. And I'm really, I don't operate like that. So I'm rejecting the premise of your question and where you're going with the question because I know where you're going before you even go there.
Meaning that you're making statements that you don't have the answers to. You don't really understand what you're saying.
I mean, if
you just quoted the scripture,
I can see, my friend.
You just quoted the scriptures without. You just quoted the scriptures without any understanding. That's why you can't explain what do you mean by the least of them. You're just throwing out words.
Right. I mean, Jesse, you get paid every day to throw out words that are inflammatory, that are insidious. Your job, your entire existence, Jesse, is designed to inflame tensions between communities underneath the guise of being some type of great black conciliator. Like your job, like you're really here to mend. You're not here to do this, right? So this entire conversation that we're having, it has nothing to do, but it's just entertainment for your audience.
I have with me Benjamin Dixon. Benjamin is the founder of the Progressive Army and host of the Benjamin Dixon Show. Benjamin, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. I think I should start with just a general greeting. How are you today, my friend?
All is well, sir. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting, Jesse.
First of all, your impression of the Great White Hope, how would you rate him on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best?
10 being the best. I mean, for your audience, I'm sure your audience was going to say that Donald Trump is a 15, right? But in reality, in every measurable sense, he's a 1, a negative. If we could give a negative rating, he's going to go down as the worst president in the history of this country and the most incompetent and the most laughable president that we've ever had. He's an embarrassment. He's a stain on and this is coming from a guy who fully knows how corrupt and how detrimental many of our presidents have been in the past. But I think Donald Trump is on trajectory. His trajectory is to outdo the worst of the worst.
You know, I didn't ask you about Obama. I'm talking about.
You're talking about your great white hope,
right.
Your great white messiah of Donald Trump.
Right. You gave me.
Because Jesse, how do you
gave me Obama? I didn't ask about Obama. One Democratic male pretended to be a woman beat a Republican who was against men going into women's bathroom. Are you for transgenders running for offices in our country, running for office?
Why would we not be? Why should they not be able to run for office in the United States?
No, I'm asking you, are you for that?
Clearly,
are you in support of transgenders running for office?
Clearly. So let me answer this 2 ways. 1, yes. 2, I'm in favor for anyone and everyone who's a citizen of the United States to run for office. Why would you not be? Why should they be relegated to not being able to hold office in the United States of America?
Just as in the military, if a man or a woman is confused about his or her gender, that says that they're not stable enough to run
Jesse,
the country.
I tell you
Does
what,
let's
do
sense?
This, Jesse.
Does that make sense?
No, let me tell you what makes sense to me really quickly, and maybe we can wrap this up, because your job, Jesse, has always been to say the most ridiculous things, to find a way to make your audience be okay with the fact that last night was a complete repudiation of that type of bigotry that you espouse. That's your job, and you do it well. You do it well, Jesse.
So that doesn't make sense to you, that if you're confused about your gender, that mentally and emotionally you're not stable enough to run a country. Benjamin, let me ask. Benjamin is with me. Are you? I don't know. I don't remember reading or not. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am, Jesse.
And
are you a Christian?
What does that mean to be a Christian to you? What does that mean?
Definitely has to mean something different than what you perceive to be Christianity, right? But there's absolutely no way that you can espouse the teachings of Christ and intentionally insult, as you did this morning, marginalized
Benjamin,
communities.
what does it mean to you to be a Christian?
I just answered it. Now maybe let me say it again for you, because it seems to not be sitting well on your ears. To be a Christian is, notwithstanding the first and foremost, Jesus Christ, right? How can you, as a Christian, and this is my answer, man, because really you're blowing me away this morning with the absurdity, but really at the core of it is the least of these, right? What you do to the least of these, that's what's at the core of our faith, and that's what you this morning have just demonstrated, that you don't have one bit of concern about the least of these in society. You think it's a game. You think it's a joke. You're mocking.
What does
you're
that
mocking,
mean
you're
to
mocking,
the least of
you're
these?
You're mocking someone.
Benjamin,
You're enjoying. I'm sorry. I guess you. I know this
Benjamin,
is your
when
show.
you say to the least of them, what does that mean, and who are the least of them?
Jesse, see, I have to commend you, though. I will commend you on this, because you're trying to craft a very narrow framework for us to have this conversation. And I'm really, I don't operate like that. So I'm rejecting the premise of your question and where you're going with the question, because I know where you're going before you even go there.
Meaning that you're making statements that you don't have the answers to. You don't really understand what you're saying.
I mean, if
you just quoted the scripture,
I can see, my friend.
You just quoted the scriptures without. You just quoted the scriptures without any understanding. That's why you can't explain what do you mean by the least of them. You're just throwing out words.
Right. I mean, Jesse, you get paid every day to throw out words that are inflammatory, that are insidious. Your job, your entire existence, Jesse, is designed to inflame tensions between communities underneath the guise of being some type of great black conciliator. Like your job, like you're really here to mend. Mend. You're not here to do this, right? So this entire conversation that we're having, it has nothing to do, but it's just entertainment for your audience. And you know,
I have another question for you.
If that's what you want to do.
Benjamin, I have another question. You were quoted as saying Jesus was a socialist.
Absolutely.
And I'm just following his lead.
Absolutely.
As a Christian, you believe that Jesus was a socialist?
As a Christian, do you believe Jesus was a capitalist?
Answer that question, Benjamin.
Particularly, I mean, see, I guess you don't understand that simple principle. Yes, of course, Christ. I mean, honestly, you can't pigeonhole the kingdom of God economic system, and what Republicans and conservatives like yourself have done for an entire generation is try to make it seamless completion. You're not answering that question either. I actually am answering your question.
You're rambling on about nothing.
It's really that.
Why
Jesse,
do you believe
that you don't have
Jesus? What was it about? What's about Jesus?
What about Jesus makes him a
that made
capitalist?
you think that he was a socialist?
What about Jesus makes him a capitalist
to you? I didn't say he was a capitalist either. I never said that. I never said that.
Clearly, do you? Okay, so do you believe he's a capitalist?
I never said that, and that's not my belief.
Yeah.
But
what's your belief? What is the kingdom of God economic system?
You're running away from the question again.
What is the kingdom? No, the real core question is because you have
Jesus?
I'm sorry, Jesse. I can't entertain elementary questions, right? Because you have this rudimentary understanding of of society in general, and so you're trying to make it a strict dichotomy, right? A on-off binary to say either he was a capitalist or socialist. But the question really remains is that if you don't believe his system was socialist, then what do you believe it was?
Why do you believe his system was a socialist system? Why do you believe that as a Christian?
I believe that it was far closer to socialism than it was to the capitalism that many Christians are trying to shove down, are saying that he was. Christ was not a capitalist.
What was about Jesus? What did Jesus do or say to imply that he was a socialist? You're not answering that. And you said you believe that he was a socialist. Yeah. What about him that caused you to believe that?
What did he tell the rich young ruler?
You're still asking questions. You're not answering questions.
What did he tell? I'm sure your audience understands that question.
What was it about Jesus?
I mean, you can't even tell me the answer to that simple question.
What did he say?
You're not really on terms. You're not really able to have a conversation.
Benjamin, what did Jesus do or say that implied to you that he's a socialist and caused you to believe that?
Yeah, so, I mean, I just answered the question.
No, you didn't. You asked
he had a fabulous conversation. He had a fabulous conversation with a rich young ruler. And I'm asking you if you know what he said to the rich young ruler.
What was that conversation
with a rich young ruler? What do you know what he said to the rich young ruler?
Benjamin, what about that conversation that made you think that Jesus was a socialist? Answer that. What did he say to that guy or do to that guy that caused you, Benjamin, to believe that Jesus was a socialist? Benjamin Dixon, I'd like to know that.
Okay, since you can't answer the question, I guess I'll answer it for you because I asked you the same question and you can't seem to answer it. He's told him to sell all of his wealth, all of his belongings, right, and come follow him because he had everything lined out that he said that he believed that he did right in his life. All the things that he dictated to Christ, I did this right, I did this right, I did this right. And Christ told him, you're lacking one thing. Go sell all of your belongings. He's too attached to that system, to his wealth. And he said, relinquish all that wealth and then you can follow me.
Amazing. You finally answered a question after 30 minutes. That's not at all what he meant. The commandment is that we should love God with all our heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else. And it was clear after discussion with the rich young ruler that he loved his possession more than he did God himself. And
Jesse,
when God asked him to,
let me ask you this, Jesse.
Hold on, I'm responding.
Let me ask you
if
this.
you want me to, he wanted to know what can he do to follow Jesus. You got to give that up, meaning don't let that be first in your life. And the guy was not able to do it. So if anything,
Jesse, can I ask you a follow-up question?
If anything,
if you really have to, are we here to have a? Because I want to ask you a follow-up question.
Hold on,
this is
hold
important.
on.
This
No,
is
no,
important.
no. Hold on, Benjamin.
This is important, but you can't answer the follow-up question.
Hold on, Benjamin. If anything, it implied that the rich young ruler loved material things more than he loved God, and that's why he was not able to follow God. There was nothing in there to imply that he was a socialist. That's a bad example.
What do you believe is the core of this capitalistic system, Jesse? What if not the value of the value of possessions above anything else? What do you think is at the core of this economic system that we live in every single day?
What does that have to do with Jesus? And the core of what's happening today in our society is that socialists love material things and they don't believe. Hold on, Benjamin. Today, socialists love material things. They neither love or believe in God.
Says who? Have you ever heard of Christian socialist? You've never heard of that? I know you have a very.
Benjamin, if they are Christian socialists, they are not children of God.
Okay, there you go.
Benjamin, thank you for coming on, man. Benjamin, thank you for coming on. That was fun.
Take care, Jesse.
All right.